We have a problem, Batman. Gotham needs you again.
Michael Myers is not a man. He is death wearing a mask. There is nothing behind those eyes, because there is nothing left to be behind them. He doesn't kill for pleasure or revenge. He kills because killing is the only thing his broken mind understands. The mask doesn't hide his face. It shows what he really is: empty. He has no emotions, no fear, no pain, no thoughts beyond finding his next victim. You can't reason with him because there's no mind to reason with. You can't scare him because he doesn't understand fear. You can't hurt him because he doesn't feel pain. Traditional police methods don't work because they're designed for normal criminals who want to survive. Myers doesn't care if he lives or dies. The contingency protocol must treat him like a natural disaster, a tornado or earthquake, something that can't be stopped, only avoided or redirected until it burns itself out. Physical strength analysis shows capabilities that exceed normal human limits by unknown amounts. He can lift grown adults with one hand, punch through solid wood doors, and walk through gunfire like it's rain. Stab wounds, bullet holes, and broken bones don't slow him down. His pain tolerance is complete. Damage that would drop a normal person has no visible effect on his behavior. He moves at a steady walking pace that somehow allows him to catch running victims. His endurance appears unlimited. No signs of fatigue even during extended activity. The tactical reality is simple. Direct physical confrontation with Michael Myers is suicide unless you have overwhelming firepower and perfect positioning. Standard weapons are insufficient. Standard tactics are useless. Standard assumptions about human limitations don't apply. The strategy must account for fighting something that has human shape but superhuman capabilities. Something that won't stop attacking until it's physically incapable of movement. Target selection follows predictable patterns that represent his only exploitable weakness. Myers doesn't choose random victims. He hunts specific people based on rules that can be studied and anticipated. Family members are primary targets, especially those connected to his original killing spree. Anyone who interferes with his hunt becomes a secondary target. His focus becomes tunnel vision when pursuing specific victims, making him vulnerable to misdirection through controlled bait placement. The strategy involves using decoys to control his movement, forcing him into prepared positions where superior firepower can be applied safely. This requires extensive planning to protect the decoys while maintaining the illusion needed to direct his attention. The approach treats him like a predatory animal, predictable in his hunting patterns, controllable through proper bait placement, containable through superior preparation and positioning. Containment requires facilities designed for containing a force of nature rather than a human prisoner. Previous escapes from maximum security prove that normal prison design is inadequate. His superhuman strength means standard restraints are useless. His lack of self-preservation means traditional deterrents have no effect. The facility must assume he will attempt escape and plan accordingly. Multiple backup containment systems, reinforced construction beyond military specifications, geographic isolation from populated areas, and elimination of anything that could be used as a weapon or tool. The design acknowledges that any containment is temporary at best, buying time rather than providing permanent solution. The facility serves as early warning system for when he inevitably breaks free, allowing for evacuation and preparation rather than surprise attack on unprepared civilians. Elimination represents the most practical long-term solution given his resistance to normal methods of neutralization. His apparent immunity to conventional lethal force requires overwhelming firepower, applied with precision timing. High-caliber weapons, explosive devices, industrial equipment, anything capable of causing massive structural damage to human tissue. The challenge is ensuring complete destruction, because partial damage appears to have no effect on his operational capability. The strategy must account for his unusual resilience by planning for multiple simultaneous attacks targeting different vital systems. This includes preparation for scenarios where conventional elimination methods prove insufficient, requiring exotic approaches like industrial furnaces or acid baths. The approach acknowledges that normal concepts of proportional force don't apply when dealing with something that can't be stopped through normal means. Movement prediction becomes possible through careful analysis of his documented behavior patterns and geographic preferences. Myers returns to specific locations with personal significance, follows consistent routes between hunting areas, and operates within geographic boundaries that can be mapped. His timing shows patterns related to dates, seasons, and other factors that suggest underlying triggers for his activity. The surveillance strategy involves monitoring predicted locations, tracking his movement through known territory, and establishing early warning systems that detect his presence before he reaches populated areas. This requires coordination with law enforcement, installation of detection equipment at key points, and development of rapid response teams that can intercept him during travel. The prediction system must account for pattern changes while maintaining coverage of his most likely targets and movement routes. What do you think, Alfred?
Master Bruce, you're treating this man as if he were already dead. But what if there's still something human left inside that damaged mind? Yes, he's dangerous beyond measure, but he was once a child who needed help rather than fear. Medical science has advanced considerably. Brain imaging, experimental treatments, surgical procedures that might address whatever neurological damage created this condition. Your plans focus entirely on destruction, but shouldn't we at least attempt to find the person buried beneath the damage? Sometimes the most strategic choice is exploring every alternative before accepting that elimination is the only option. The boy who became this monster deserves the chance for treatment, even if that treatment ultimately proves impossible.
Alfred's point forces consideration of medical intervention as an alternative to elimination, but any treatment attempt must prioritize public safety above all other concerns. The approach requires comprehensive brain scans to identify damaged areas, consultation with specialists who might develop treatment protocols, and research into experimental therapies that could restore normal brain function. This includes pharmaceutical treatments that might activate dormant neural pathways, surgical procedures to repair structural damage, and specialized therapy designed for extreme cognitive impairment. However, medical intervention cannot compromise public safety. Any treatment must occur within maximum security containment, with full protocols active. The medical approach acknowledges that his condition might be treatable, but cannot risk innocent lives based on possibility rather than certainty. Treatment becomes an option only after secure containment is achieved and maintained, with elimination protocols remaining active if medical intervention fails or proves impossible. What do you think, Robin?
Bruce, you're overthinking this. Yeah, he's strong and doesn't feel pain, but that doesn't make him invincible. We've faced tough enemies before. You just need to be smarter than them. He can't be everywhere at once. He can't think his way out of problems. And he can't adapt when his plans don't work. So we use teamwork, better equipment, and superior tactics. If he's stronger than one person, we don't fight him one-on-one. If he doesn't feel pain, we use methods that don't rely on pain to stop him. If he's predictable, we use that predictability against him. Sometimes the best strategy is just being more prepared and more determined than the bad guy, no matter how scary he looks.
Robin's directness highlights essential tactical principles that work regardless of Myers' unusual capabilities. The simplified approach focuses on team coordination to overcome individual physical limitations, superior equipment to level the playing field, and tactical preparation that exploits his predictable patterns. Multiple operatives working together can create advantages that compensate for his superhuman strength. Advanced technology can provide force multiplication that makes normal humans effective against superhuman threats. Careful positioning and preparation can turn his predictability into tactical weakness. The strategy abandons complex psychological analysis in favor of straightforward military tactics. Identify the threat, develop appropriate countermeasures, apply them with sufficient force and coordination. The team-based approach treats him as a dangerous, but ultimately manageable threat that can be handled through proper planning, adequate resources, and sustained coordinated effort. Technology provides the force multiplication necessary to make normal humans effective against superhuman threats. Modern surveillance can track his movement with precision that allows tactical positioning before direct confrontation. Advanced weapons can deliver overwhelming firepower with accuracy that minimizes risk to response teams. Communication networks coordinate efforts across wide areas, preventing escape through simple relocation. Automated systems continue operation even if individual team members are eliminated. The technological approach includes drone surveillance for real-time tracking, secure communication that can't be disrupted, weapon systems capable of delivering decisive force, and backup systems that function independently. This creates tactical advantages that remain effective regardless of casualties, ensuring operation continues despite losses. The technology must be simple enough to operate under stress, while robust enough to function in chaotic conditions his presence creates. Communication disruption exploits his inability to adapt tactics or respond to changing circumstances. Myers operates like a broken machine running the same program, regardless of environmental changes. The strategy involves systematic disruption of conditions he needs for successful hunting, removing victims from predicted areas, altering familiar environments to confuse his navigation, creating false signals that waste his time and energy. This includes coordinated evacuation of target zones, modification of landmarks he uses for navigation, and deployment of decoy operations that position response teams for optimal engagement. The approach treats him as a natural force that can be channeled rather than stopped, like building barriers to direct flood water rather than trying to stop rain. Success comes from understanding that he cannot adapt because adaptation requires mental flexibility he completely lacks. The final assessment acknowledges that Michael Myers represents a threat that exists outside normal categories of criminal behavior or mental illness. His condition challenges conventional approaches to justice, public safety, and human rights in ways that have no clear precedent. The contingency protocols exist because traditional methods prove inadequate when dealing with something that appears human but operates according to inhuman principles. The plans balance possibility of redemption against certainty of continued violence, hope for treatment against reality of current capabilities, desire for humane approach against necessity of effective response. The strategies acknowledge that some threats cannot be negotiated with or rehabilitated through normal means, requiring methods that prioritize innocent lives over philosophical concerns about appropriate response. Because in the end, when death walks among the living wearing human shape, when emptiness masquerades as a man, when the absence of humanity threatens those who possess it, the contingency ensures that protection of innocent life takes precedence over everything else. The protocols exist not to guarantee victory, but to guarantee that if evil cannot be redeemed, it can at least be contained. And if it cannot be contained, it can be stopped through whatever means prove necessary.